This video is made actually just to speak to one person or group of people. I want to start a conversation. Now, I don't really have any business starting this conversation, but I just have thoughts that may help people better wrap their heads around history. Um, so let me start, Marcus Dibbs. I first saw your channel, and it labeled offensive training, and I'm like, the heck? And I started watching, and I watched one video, misgendered at the bank, I think. And hearing you speak, that's why I'm actually reaching out to you. I took the time, I listened, and everything you said in that video that I heard was real shit. So I'm going to reach out to you, and I'm going to see what you think about my ideas. So, this is going to be kind of possibly offensive to some of you guys. I'm going to warn you that now. I've been looking at history and I've seen a lot of, the best way to put it is Karen actions, but it's not from individual people, it's from organizations. Um, and I don't want to get into how deep rooted it goes or anything like that, but it occurred to me that in the 80s we had a very, very big movement within churches to send kids to conversion camps where they were told, hey, you're wrong for loving who you love. It makes you a sinner. And whenever somebody gets a threat of eternal damnation because of who they love and they feel broken because of the way people treat them, they're going to get a gender dysphoria issue. And it's going to start body dysmorphic conditions, um, which might actually also include a automatic key into gender dysphoria. If it's body, it's got to also be gender. Or, I mean, if it's gender, it's got to also be body. It's inclusive like that. Um, my question for you is, do you think that this is one of the reasons why we're seeing such a movement for people to feel the belonging of being part of the trans community, where trans exploded post 1980s abuse at these Christian camps? Because if you look around, there's a lot of ads right now about lawsuits, including abuse of a sexual nature at these places. So not only were they saying it's wrong for you to be gay, but let me abuse you at the same moment, and I'm not gay for abusing you, I'm trying to teach you. So it's a real confusing message that was sent, and what I can only say seems to be a really confusing message that was sent. That at these camps, our natural reaction whenever we're told that we're sin, we're going, all these threats that we can't really defeat, our natural reaction is to try and change who we are. If we can't change who we love, maybe we can change who we are. And I think that's where a lot of the issues come into. Now, I'd also like your opinion on one other thing. I'm going to get a little scientific with it. In physics, we have energy and we have mass, and it's like a binary system. And most would say that gender is binary, male and female. But they never really have anything to say about the history of and I know this is a bad term, that's why I use it historically, the longevity that hermaphrodite speaks, the middle ground. Because if we have -1 and we have 1, that binary, there's always that middle ground, that perfect middle. Um, could that actually be the reinsertion of binary? Because in trinary, triples, in physics, we have charge, spin, and mass. And if uh, you look at energy itself, we have inertia and we have active energy. So if active is spin and inertia is charge, we have binary expanding binary. And if that is the case, we have trinary from two sets of binary where one is included in both. And that sounds a lot like what we see in this fully inclusive, even though history hasn't said that there's that perfect middle ground. We see this actual 3 point spectrum gender. And I want to know your opinion on it. If the history shows that our gender is about as rare as uh, protium and deuterium, because there's a 95 to 5% difference. And I know 5% is way higher than what we see in nature, but this is after some circuits have went and some expansion has gone, that we see this reduced to I think the estimates are 0.05% or maybe 0.5% of the population. Um, and I want to know if you think that that is actually the rare case. Um, I'm asking you because of your way to actually have respect about topics, and even though you are confronting people on their issues, you're doing it in a pretty respectful way. I'm going to say pretty respectful because I can't say totally respectful. The respect is always in two parts. It's what we do and how what we're doing is seen. So I hope you don't see this as disrespect. I don't try to stay current on the gender issues. I'm straight, male. So there's not that large reason like so many others. I do, however, pay attention to what's hurting people and the pain that people are going through. And I look for good people that support each other but also try to help each other. And that's why I'm reaching out to you, because I see that in just one video you're trying to reach people that, hey, you may need to slow down because you may be messing yourself up for a lifetime. And that is, thank you for caring enough to do that for others. But I just kind of wanted to know your opinion if you see this, because I don't really have, like you said, much of a following. I'm not out for attention. I'm out to make change. You don't need a following to make change. You just need to be heard by key people. So I hope this reaches you. I hope that my support in you continuing hits where it should, and that's to make your heart warm and a little bit more happy that you got another supporter out here and another ally, that is just out here trying to love people the right way, not the wrong way. Uh, People's gender is like the people at the bank. I don't look at gender as much because I look at the human first. And it's not for me to judge what somebody else goes through, but if they're going through something, I do have that power to listen. And I try to love people no matter what, even if I don't like who they are. There's a lot of people in the world that we shouldn't like because of the way that they treat others, but that doesn't mean we don't have the duty to love them just for the good it'll do them and the good it'll do the world. Because those people that are hurting others are just hurt themselves. So I hope this hits right. And I hope it's not taken offensively, but I want to try and help people fight less because nature rips us apart enough. We need to love each other to keep us here. And in the identifying as trans community, suicides are higher. I've dealt with mental illness plenty. It's actually the main subject of my poetry book, because a lot of people struggle, especially nowadays. You know, COVID saw a rise in anxieties and isolation, and we're pulling ourselves out of a very deep hole. And honestly, at times I fear for us, but that just makes me kick up and drive more. I'd love to know your thoughts. Sorry for my rambling. I just thought I'd let you get to know me a little bit and who's asking these questions. So I'm going to reiterate the questions again. Do you think that we can explain and completely destroy the binary culture that Christianity has pushed through using the history of the hermaphrodite and all the context that it includes, including all the hate historically, to better protect those that are actually within the spectrum in between instead of that binary opposition that they force as a narrative? And do you think that the churches leading the crusade to convert gays and their abuse at these conversion camps is why we see the range extended and so many people using this trans ideology, which I ain't saying it ain't real. I'm saying that there is real people and people who jump on a bandwagon despite the permanent effects. Love to know your comments.